If you don't ask for help, you're just asking to prolong your pain.
All right, y'all. Well, let's get after it. I had to call in an audible this morning. I called in my friends and I'm like, help, help. I am woken up to living with kids. You seem to just kind of get what they get, and you just get what they get, and you can't and don't throw a fit. And my energy's at like my battery's blinking at 9 a.m. So I need to preserve my energy. I got some big appointments here today. So I said, hey guys, I need your help. Come on, jump in. Right. So called a little help from my friends. So Audra and Michelle are going to kick it off. Let's go.
Audrey, you want me to jump in or you want to take it?
Either way, go for it. Yeah.
I think I've
For it.
actually got I thought it'd be good to have a conversation around kind of like fire, energy, and spark. What gives you the motivation when it comes to doing the things that you need to do? So I have mentioned this numerous times. I'm a huge fan of Brendan Burchard and his Growth Day app. I just realized I need to, okay, and his Growth Day app. And so I have a high performance journal and high performance planner, and I do the whole thing with journaling and whatnot. And so I found a little tidbit from here that I wanted to read to you guys, and then I thought we could just jump in and kind of talk about how do we find that
Everybody.
motivation and spark and everything from when we're kind of feeling like we need a little pep in our step. So you are not stuck. You are closed, fixated on a certain view of who you are, what's possible, and what rules you must follow. Transformation requires a new level of openness and humility. Only when we are truly open will we activate the curiosity and willingness to try new things. There's no new bold adventure for you without walking through an open gate. Rise your head and lift your eyes, young warrior. There is a greater field of possibility in front of you. Be open to change and miracles and new paths of action, for your destiny is still being written. So I love that. And I think it resonates well with what Matt talks about a lot, which is being more open-minded, being open to opportunities, and not staying really fixed in our mindset. So for me personally, I think new opportunities, new challenges, those are what really motivates me to jump in and really want to dive in and do new things. I'm kind of my struggle is probably more staying consistent than it is not trying new things. But what about you guys? What's your when your business is feeling kind of blah? What do you guys do to stay motivated to get fire and passion? Like maybe you jump on a trampoline and listen to 80s music. You maybe you phone a friend. What's your kind of go-to?
The passage is actually just, it reminds me of one of my favorite quotes from Mark Twain. And he says in the quote, it's not what you know that gets you in trouble. It's what you think you know for certain that just isn't so. Right. So it's not what you know that gets you in trouble. It's what you think you know that's absolutely certain that just isn't so. And Alex Hormozy was talking on one of his podcasts earlier this week about it's good to have strong beliefs as long as they are loosely held. He said one of the most dangerous things you can have are beliefs that you are unwilling to reevaluate. Right. And there's certain areas of your life, of course, that you can have very strongly held beliefs, but then there are other areas of your life and your business that whatever belief you have may be the actual thing that's holding you back. Anyway. So I thought it funny that you led with that because that quote has just been floating around in my mind as well at the same time. Right. So stay curious, friends.
Yeah.
I definitely think like that you said it a minute ago, like the phone a friend. That is whenever I things aren't going the way that I want, or I'm just in a funk, whatever, I've got to have a person that can say, okay, great, now let's get out of it. Not too much of a, oh, it's gonna be okay. That's nice, but I need nice versus kind. I need kindness. I know I need someone who's gonna say, okay, what are we gonna do? How can we shift gears? What other perspective can we look at it? I've got to have that person that I can talk to help me. And really it's like y'all too. I don't know if y'all are in the same order, but Matt and Michelle are like my go-tos, like, oh, this is happening. And it's like, okay, well, let's look at it this way. Or have you thought about this? And that changes everything for me. Just having a person, not hiding.
I think it's really good that you bring this up, right? Because this not natural for me. Normally, I'm just like, I look, no one can do it. I got to do it. Let's just grin and bear it. Let's just plug away and go. I don't ask for help a lot. I don't. It's not my nature. It's not my behavior. I don't like it. I mean, it's a blind spot for me, right? It's a blind spot for me. And thanks for bringing that up, right? Because it's one of those things. So like, what do I do? Like when I'm also feeling a certain kind of way about stuff, I can't do it in isolation because then it just never goes away. When you suffer in isolation, everything just continues to compound, right? Like when I bring other people in, then I can share in whatever was going on and get a different perspective, right? Ramil is actually really good at this. You reached out last week about it for a similar situation. So I was impressed that you did that, right? So I was able to jump on that call right away. We were able to talk through it. Um, yeah, good point, Audra.
It's funny that you say that too. So the Growth Day message today was really more centered around like people talking about their problems with other people, not in a negative way, but reminding yourself that someone else has been through what you are going through. And I actually I text myself notes all the time. And I texted one thing that he said, and it says, if you don't ask for help, you're just asking for prolonged pain. And I'm like, that is so true. Whether you're going through depression, anxiety,
Oh, say
mental
that
health
again.
issues.
Slow
Yeah.
down and say it again.
If you don't ask for help, you're just asking to prolong your pain. And I think we all let ourselves sit in the pity of whether it's, mental health type things where you're going through something really tough in life right now with family issues, with job issues, with not having the business, whatever, and it's really eating at you. There's someone else in this world that is going through that too. But also in our business, right? When we sit down and we're like, I'm not where I need to be. Well, if you don't if you don't have the knowledge or the courage or the strength to get to where you need to be, who do you know that's a good role model that you can tap into and just say, hey, what are you doing? What's working? That's honestly my favorite question to ask higher producers is, man, you're on fire. What are you doing? Where are you getting your deals from? Just having those conversations. Most people that are winning want to share that with other people. Most people that are, winning in life also didn't get there, weren't just naturally gifted whatever they were given. They had trials and fires that they had to go through to get there too. So just finding the right people to tap into, to really have deep conversation and people that get you. And like Audra said, don't tell you like, oh, it's going to be okay. Don't have the pity party, but they really help you see kind of that, like that passage said, right? Like that gate, that opening that you need to walk through.
You said something that made me think about kind of this past week. The people you said, reaching out to those top producers to see how like, what's working, what are you doing? How can I implement some things in my business? And yes, they are so willing to help, but those also seem to be the people that we tend to not ask for help. And because we're intimidated or scared, or they're not going to have time for me or whatever, but 99% of people at that level are like, yeah, this is amazing. Let me share with you. Let me help, or let me tell you what I'm doing that's working. Let me give you some guidance. We just have to get out of our own way and just say, hey, can I just buy you a cup of coffee? And I think you're amazing. I respect what you've done. I just have some questions for you. And that we just have to do it.
Yeah. We have to tell our ego to shut up, go ask for the help. If someone doesn't have the time or they're too busy for us, it doesn't mean that they don't care for us or care about us. It just means that maybe they have other things going on. That's not the end of the world, but you're never going to know if you don't ask. And that whole ego thing of, it's so hard to ask for help because I think in our own minds it's a sign of weakness, um, or we're afraid of rejection. But seriously, I have to tell my ego every day, shut up. You just need to sit down and shut up and do the thing that you need to do. Reach out to the people that you need to reach out. And I have some of the best, most authentic relationships because I have done that self-reflection and learned that you have to remove your ego. You have to step back, and it just, I don't know, there's something magical that happens when you have conversations with people and you're being just genuine and authentic and human, and they do that in return. It's just, it's so rewarding to have those kind of relationships with people.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think like what Audra said, like the people that are top producers, they also have a very clear like path of what they do. And um over the weekend at church, one of the things that was said was a quote by Gustav Flaubert. I don't know if that's the correct name, but be regular and orderly in your life so that you may be violent and original in your work. So like pressing on daily and doing the routine like will make a huge it's small those small changes. I think that even if you're like in those days that if you can look back and say, hey, like I've actually come this far and done this because I've been consistent with whatever it is that I'm doing. And sometimes you got to look back and see what you've actually accomplished versus just like I don't have anything, I'm not doing anything, because that's just kind of like a feeling. But every day, like if you have what you have to do, sometimes like the feelings can you can get them out. And that's kind of how I do it. Whether I feel like doing it or not, check these off the list and just
Just
move
do
on.
it.
Yeah, just do it. And so, because not everybody, I mean, you see people and like not they're not happy every day or they're not having the best day every day, but you still have to do the things that you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Matt and I had this conversation the other day. Like the longer you sit and stew on something and, oh, I should do this or should do that, the more you have time for anxiety or fear or anything to build up. Like just do the thing.
Mhm.
And you're surprised a lot of the times, like, oh, that wasn't near as scary or bad or awful as I thought it was going to be. It actually turned out really, really well because we build these stories up in our head or think less of ourselves. Well, oh, I can't do that or whatever. Just do the thing and then be like, oh my gosh, I did it. And then it's a win for you. And in your brain, it's like, oh, I can do this again because I've done it once. So now I can just keep on doing it. And it's less scary every time. Just do it. Man, Nike did really well with that. Like really, really well.
Yeah,
Thing.
yeah.
That was my standard answer for years when people said, how did you do it with all these kids? I said, I'm like Nike, I just do it.
Amazing what you can do when you don't have a choice.
Right?
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's why things like Mel Robbins' 5 second rule work. Like, just don't give yourself time to think about it, because the more you think about it, you're just gonna spiral down. Just go and do it.
Yep.
And Audra, when you said we're talking about the shouldas, I was saying like, don't should on yourself. It's so easy to like shoulda, coulda, woulda, but you can't change the past, so don't shit on yourself.
Yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda never happened. So move on.
Yep, yep, exactly.
So what are the things that y'all are thinking in your mind? Because usually, like I can think of things whenever we start having a conversation on this, I'm like, here's this thing that I should be doing that I haven't been for whatever reason that I need to just go and do. What are some of the things that the thing that popped into your mind that y'all know you should be doing, but haven't or aren't yet?
It's for me, it's when the activity or the list is in front of me and I look at the entire thing, I have to just do the first. Like
Yeah.
first call, first text, first whatever. Just hit the green button. Just go. Do one and then stack the next one and then do the next one. Um like yeah. Like even when I'm running and I'm like at the end and it's just every step is just I'll just be running from one telephone pole to the next telephone pole. And that's all I'm looking at. It's like I just got to get to the next pole. I just got to get to and then I'll look ahead and be like, all right, I'm gonna get to that sidewalk. I'm gonna get to that corner. I'm gonna get to that sign. And then I'm gonna walk for 10 seconds. And then I'm gonna do that. Like I'm just constantly chunking it down to the next actionable thing, and then next thing you know, you're done. You've covered the distance, or you knocked out the list. Today was one of those days for that was the minimum allowable effort kind of day where I didn't feel like it, didn't want to get up. I probably should still be in bed. And I just decided, no, it's like it doesn't matter what you feel like. You just do what you got to do. You go to the gym. Did I have the best workout ever? Nope. I had the minimum acceptable effort today. Check, next. And I could have called it in, said, hey, Michelle, Audrey, just run the call. I'm out. And then, but here we go. We're here. We're gonna plug through. Got three other appointments here today. Gotta guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares if you're not feeling it. Like you just gotta go.
Yeah, I like that. And the whole concept of winning your day. If you start your day by picking like the top three things that you have to do to win your day, what are the things that you absolutely have to accomplish? I find that really helpful. So I have a whiteboard in my office where I write, it literally says win the day on the top, and then I write my top two or three things that I know I absolutely have to get accomplished. And then at the end of the day, if you've done all those things, you're considered to win your day. And you need to celebrate that too. Because again, it's like Audra talked about, it's like tricking your brain, not tricking your brain, but like reinforcing in your brain, like I did something great today and that was awesome. Like you guys should be changing your self-talk if you aren't already, celebrating yourself when you hit milestones. Um, but yeah, win the day I think is a huge, even if it's just one thing you start writing on the board every day, just put something on there of what would it take to win your day.
Yeah. I actually have an alarm on my phone and I've had it for years and it says win the day. And I don't remember why I put it in there, but I mean, it's a daily reminder to go and win the day. Like there's something every single day. You just got to go out and get it.
It starts to actually rewire your brain too. There's a neuroscientist, if y'all have ever heard of Dr. Caroline Leaf. She has podcasts. I have to slow them down because she talks really fast. But she talks about how whenever you do celebrate those wins, whenever you have that positive self-talk, it literally creates new neural pathways in your brain. She gets way more technical than this, but that's the in a nutshell version. You're creating new pathways in your brain and cutting off the ones that automatically go negative or automatically go into the fear or I can't do this or any of that. The more that you celebrate, the more that you talk positively to yourself and have those little wins, the more that you win the day and acknowledge it, the more you start to build actual physical pathways in your brain for you to automatically think that way.
Mhm.
Yeah. You got to rewrite that subconscious wiring that we, you know, all have from our whether it's childhood, adulthood, everything. There's just all these behaviors that we do, the procrastination, the negative self-talk, all of those things is typically some sort of program that was written in us when typically it's when you're a child, when you're younger. But by doing the things like Audra mentioned, it's short-circuiting that wiring and really building a new connection so that you can retrain your brain to dive into the positive, dive into the new way of thinking, and disregard that old programming that you have.
Sometimes also that old programming or that negative self-talk, that can also come in the form of people around you. And that also builds pathways in your brain. So we've said on here before that it's so important who you surround yourself with. And if the people around you are in that, oh, I can't do this, or I don't want to do this, or that constant negative, or even like questioning you, like, why do you want to do that? And why do you like these things? And aren't you just happy where you are? Like, can't you just be satisfied? If that's who you've surrounded yourself with as well, that's where your brain's going to go. I mean, there's so many people have said it, like it's biblical. It talks about you are basically the product of who you surround yourself with. And if you are surrounded with the people who aren't, like, I guess, leveling up their thinking or not having that positive impact on your mindset, it's going to drag you down. Even if you're the only positive one and surrounded by negative, for a while, you're going to be able to maintain that. And maybe, oh, I'm going to be the one that brings everybody up. But if you don't have the right people around you to also lift you up when you need it, then everyone else is going to eventually drag you down. So maybe just doing it and doing the things that you need to do, maybe that's also reevaluating who you're surrounded with too.
Yes. And putting up boundaries. There's going to be some people in your life who maybe you aren't ready or willing to disconnect from, but putting up boundaries when you're around them,
Mhm.
to keep yourself on the right mental path. And also keeping in mind that we're all human and everybody that you come in contact with has a different upbringing than you. They have that different programming than you. And so there are going to be some people in your life who are going to ask you why you're doing things or discourage you from your goals. And it's not always because they don't think you can do it. It's more a self, reflective on themselves and what they're feeling. They don't think they could do it, and so they don't think that, therefore they don't think that you could do it. Or they have fears of failing or looking a certain way, and so they're projecting that onto you and assuming that you think the same way that they do. But I think that's where it's super important to find yourself a group of people who are highly committed to personal growth, to mindset, that are doing the things that you want to do. All those things are very important. And I even find myself guilty of this too, but trying to find the right type of people that aren't necessarily giving you advice, but are asking questions to help you come to your own conclusions versus pushing their opinions and directives on you.
Yeah.
Find yourself a Matt.
Yeah. Yeah. Matt GPT or what did we call it the other day? Yeah,
Matt
Matt
GPT. Yeah. Matt, what should we
installed in
do
my
in this
brain.
situation?
That's funny.
Matt, text me something. Give me a name for this. And then there it goes. And it's like, I don't even know how that works. Find yourself a Matt.
We're here.
We'll share a little bit.
Yeah.
Hmm. This call, though, too, is a great way to surround yourself with those people. And y'all are all great about showing up all the time. So you're winning in that column already. Um, but yeah, just keep on showing up. Invite people, invite friends, and that also need it, and that you want to join in on the same kind of conversation.
Yeah. And I'd encourage you guys to all, like, if you aren't already, get up just a smidge earlier and, listen to, I know we all talk about different people, but like I love Ed Milet and Brendan Burchard, Mel Robbins. All of that is in growth day for me personally, but like find someone. There's so many free apps that you can use, so many YouTube videos, different things. There's just something really powerful about starting your morning off with a positive and inspirational message, something that gives you a little fire and lights that little spark under you that's going to get your day set off on the right foot.
Yeah.
Nice work, y'all. Good stuff. Any other final thoughts around this?
Before Matt's battery drains completely.
Oh my God. I'm just like frozen face.
I think it's important for you to find somebody that will help you along the lines of being stern enough without being mean, but somebody that will be strong enough to, what do I want to say? Somebody that will say something, help you along the lines of not being, oh, honey, it'll be all right, but hey, you need to be doing this, but not being a jerk about it. Does that make sense? Because you don't want somebody being so mean about it that, at least with me, I'm a little soft-hearted, but yet I do know once I think about it. But it's nice to have somebody say, you know what? It would be better if you'd be doing this. And they don't have to quite be that nice about it, but hey, you need to stop that and you need to do this. And it would work, it would be better for you to, but not being, hey, idiot.
Yeah. Or someone that'll challenge you. Why did you do that? Why do you think you made that
Exactly.
choice? Make
Why
you
did you do that?
make you reflect on it more than anything
Reflect
is.
on it and make you think about it. I mean, I don't know how many times, well, even Michelle's done it, but Matt, you've said, well, why did you do that? And then I'm like, God, I got to have an answer for him, don't I? It makes you think.
Just reminds me of another fun saying that you guys should all write down and just kind of have in front of you. And it says, don't be surprised about the results you didn't get from the work you chose not to do.
Ooh, I'm writing. I am writing that one down. Say that one more time.
Don't be surprised about the results you didn't get from the work you chose not to do.
Stab.
Ooh.
I know I'm going to get a soundboard someday and we're going to have like a sizzle sound when
Yeah.
Matt lays the fire.
It's just really interesting. Like, it's like the C students that are like, where's my A? And you're like, you keep showing up like a C student, man. You're going to keep getting C's. Everyone wants A results from C effort. So some days though, like I said, some days if all you have is 20% and you give 20%, then you give 100%.
Yeah.
All right, y'alls. We're at that time. Thanks for being here. Thanks for plugging away with us. We'll see you Wednesday, same time, same channel for something even more exciting.